sauce with fresh pasta. We're also going to be experimenting with a couple different colors. So if you want to learn how to make it, keep on watching. Okay, so to start off, we're going to be just blending up our sofrito. And I peeled my carrot. Okay, so for the meat for the sauce, I'm going to be using a trio of pork, beef, and veal, and I'm using about 1.5 pounds of meat here, but feel free to use whatever meat you want. This is just a deal that I could get at my local butcher, and I'm just forming them into patties. They don't have to be perfect. This is just going to help us with our searing process. Okay, so now we're going to be searing our patties for our sauce. I'm using canola oil here to sear it, and you just want to make sure that you get a nice color on the patties. That's what we're looking for most here, because we're going to be able to cook the patties once we put them back into the sauce. So don't worry about cooking them fully through. Okay, so another thing I wanted to mention is you can just add all of your ground beef into the pan at once instead of searing it in like patties. But then what you'll be doing there is just boiling the meat, and you won't be developing as much flavor as you would with the patties. So I highly recommend using this step. Also, I have a paper towel lined plate here right next to me, so that once I'm done searing my patties, I'm just gonna drain them on that plate. Okay, so in this clip, this is my second batch of beef that I seared, and you can see that it's searing really nicely. You get a nice crust on the outside, and that's going to add a ton of flavor into our sauce. Okay, so now we're going to be rendering out our pancetta. So I already have mine pre-diced, but if you don't, just take about 4 ounces of pancetta and just dice it pretty small. Okay, so this is totally optional, and I know it seems a little bit weird, but I'm just adding about 3 to 4 tablespoons of water here, and this is actually going to help our pancetta to render out evenly. Okay, so then once your pancetta is nice and crispy and your boyfriend steals it like mine did here, you're gonna want to add in your sofrito. So since I have a lot of sofrito here, it's gonna take a while to cook, but you're not really looking for color. You really just want to cook it down and cook out that raw flavor. Okay, so now we're gonna add in our tomato paste. And what's really important here is you want to cook out your tomato paste. You just want to make sure that when you're doing this, you don't burn it, because it's pretty easy to burn the tomato paste at this step. Okay, so once you've cooked out your tomato paste, about 2 to 3 minutes. Mine took a little bit longer just because I have a lot of sofrito here. You just want to add in your meat patties and just break it up with a spoon. Okay, so then at this point, you can deglaze with red wine or even white wine. The only liquid I have, or like liqueur, is limoncello. So I've kind of just been using this in all my recipes just to deglaze, just because it has a little bit of alcohol. And it's going to add a little bit of flavor into our sauce. So I just tasted it, and I adjusted my seasoning. And now we're going to add in our stock and our cream or milk. Just be careful that when you add the milk, it doesn't curdle, especially if you are using wine. That's one reason why you want to cook the wine completely out so that acid doesn't break down the milk when you add that in. Okay, so then you want to simmer your sauce covered for about 1 to 2 hours. And you don't want much more movement than this. You just want to cook it low and slow. Okay guys, so that is it, and I'll be posting a how-to on my multicolored pasta this coming week. So if you're not subscribed already, please do so. Give this video a like, and if you have any questions, please do so in the comments below. Thanks guys, and happy cooking.